Your neighbors will rob you. Not strangers, not masked gangs. Your neighbors. The guy who borrowed your rake. The woman who waved at your kids. Because the second the grid goes down, proximity becomes threat. According to FEMA's 2023 urban collapse modeling, 68% of all first-week home invasions during blackouts are committed by someone within 300 feet of the target. That's one house away. And the average time from power loss to break-in in major U.S. cities, 2 hours and 41 minutes. If you think they'll knock first, or that you'll get a warning, you won't. Desperation doesn't make people evil. It just erases guilt. And all it takes is one sign, one signal, one mistake, and you're on the list. These are 10 dead giveaways your neighbors are already watching, already planning, already deciding what they'll take from your house. Let's begin. 10. Your trash tells a story, and people are reading it like a treasure map. You probably don't think twice about your garbage. Banana peels, soup cans, torn up packaging. Out it goes, maybe into a sealed bin, maybe buried in your backyard. But let me tell you something that'll change the way you look at your trash forever. During a blackout, garbage isn't garbage. It's evidence. It's advertising. It's a damn menu. In the 2020 Beirut fuel crisis, waste scavenging surged by over 600% within the first week of infrastructure failure. And what were they looking for? Not scraps. They were looking for signs. Empty protein shake containers, vitamin bottles, foil packs from freeze-dried meals. Looters didn't need to see your pantry. They could reverse engineer your preparedness by what you threw away. Here's the kicker. People who had the cleanest trash, the ones with vacuum-sealed meal residue, crumpled mylar from emergency rations, were hit first. Why? Because it meant quality. Those weren't just hungry survivors. They were detectives. And your waste trail tells them more than you think. Did you know that the specific imprint left on a freeze-dried food pack can linger with scent dogs for up to 12 hours, even outdoors? That's military-level traceability. Now think of the human nose, desperate and focused, picking up on the scent of an MRE beef stew you thought you discreetly buried under leaves. Here's how to fix it. 1. Burn what you can. And I mean down to ash. Not a half-burned wrapper. Total incineration. 2. Bury deep. We're talking 2 feet minimum and not in the same spot every day. 3. Wrap anything valuable looking in wet, rotted material. Used cat litter, spoiled food, anything to make it disgusting and unworthy of inspection. And 4. Diversify your trash profile. Toss decoys. If you eat like a king, but your trash looks like boiled oats and empty tap water jugs, you just made yourself boring. Remember this, what you throw away doesn't disappear. It becomes a breadcrumb trail for the desperate. And those trails lead to your front door. 9. Subtle scent trails. You smell like you're eating better than everyone else. Let's talk about the one thing you cannot silence, mask, or lock behind a door. Your smell. Most people forget this because we're used to a world flooded with artificial scent. Car exhaust, AC discharge, street food stands, even your neighbor's lawnmower oil. But when the grid fails, the air resets. Within 12 hours of a major blackout, according to environmental labs in Frankfurt, Germany, the particulate pollution drops by 78% in urban zones. That means every scent, every cooking oil, deodorant, detergent, or spice is suddenly amplified. You take one step outside smelling like rosemary and garlic, and you might as well be ringing a dinner bell. And here's what people don't know. Your body starts to smell different if you're better nourished. High-protein diets, hydration, vitamins, all of that shows up in your sweat and skin oils. During the 2021 power outages in Myanmar, emergency medics reported that looters targeted clean, pleasant-smelling individuals over visibly dirty ones. Why? Because they smelled like soap and cooked food in a world that reeked of mildew, body odor, and fear. Scent was the tell. Here's what you need to do. 1. Go scent neutral. Stop using scented detergents. Wash clothes in baking soda and vinegar, not lavender pods. 2. Ditch your deodorant. I know it sucks, but if you smell too clean, you're signaling control and access. 3. Cook low-scent meals. Beans, rice, porridge. Nothing aromatic. And 4. Mask yourself. Rub dirt into your skin. Wear the same unwashed shirt for days, and if you can stomach it, keep a rotting onion or two in a pouch near your perimeter. It creates confusion, blocks natural scent trails. This is advanced stuff. Most people don't even think past locking the door. But scent is primal, it's hunting language. And when the stomach overrides the conscience, you better believe someone's going to follow that aroma trail until it stops, right at your doorstep. 8. Clean clothes and white linens. You might as well be wearing a Target. You ever hear the phrase, look like money? Well, in a blackout, looking clean is the same thing. A white shirt, a crisp collar, a pair of sneakers that aren't caked in dust. These things scream supply access, water, and laundry capability. And that makes you a glowing bullseye to every grime-covered, panic-sweating neighbor who hasn't washed a sock in 5 days. And they notice. Oh, do they notice? In Haiti, after the 2010 quake, relief researchers from the UN reported a 71% increase in confrontations near shelters where individuals wore visibly clean clothes. Why? Because those who were clean were assumed to have something. A way to boil water, soap stockpiles, access to relief routes. Now add that to the visibility factor. Light colors reflect what little ambient light remains. In nighttime blackouts, a white shirt under moonlight can be spotted over 100 feet away. There's actual DHS data from 2017 showing that during urban power outages, white fabric yielded the highest visual contrast under street lamp afterglow and emergency flares. That means you stand out, even if you're being careful. So yes, your clean laundry routine just invited a home invasion. Here's what to do instead. First, go dark. Brown, olive, charcoal, navy. Not black. Black actually stands out against certain backgrounds at night. Second, pre-dirty your blackout wardrobe. Stain it, smear it. Wear it before you need it. Brand new anything is a dead giveaway. Third, avoid logos. A Nike hoodie means you recently shopped. Fourth, watch your linen game. Hanging white sheets, drying towels, or even a fluttering pillowcase on a clothesline is all evidence. If it's clean, you're surviving. If it's flapping, you're thriving. And nobody likes a thriver in a grid-down nightmare. Final tip. Don't do laundry where it can be heard or smelled. The sound of water sloshing in a basin or the smell of lavender soap. It's like a siren call to someone who hasn't had either in a week. You don't want to be noticed for being clean. You want to be mistaken for struggling. Remember, in a blackout, your shirt color might be the thing that gets your door kicked in. 7. Pets that bark, meow, or seem too well fed. We love our pets. They're family. But here's the cruel truth in a grid-down blackout. Your pet might get you killed. Not because they're loud, although that's part of it, but because they expose two things: comfort and calories. In the 2023 Chile blackout riots, looters systematically targeted homes where dogs were seen wagging, alert and healthy. Why? Because that dog isn't starving. And if that dog isn't starving, neither are you. Same with cats. If your windows are quiet and your home smells faintly of kibble or canned tuna, guess what? That's a resource trail in a world where the only menu is desperation. But it gets worse. Barking, that's GPS. A dog's bark can triangulate your home from blocks away, especially in a city gone quiet. In Kosovo's 1999 power collapse, NATO intel intercepted radio chatter where paramilitary scavengers literally hunted by following barking patterns. They'd move silently and stop until they heard a yap. Then, they closed in. It wasn't about the dog. It was about the dog's human. Here's your fix. First, train for silence. If you haven't already, now's the time. Bark collars, food conditioning, hand signals. You don't want warning barks. You want stealth alerts, low growls, and body language. Second, manage scent. Store pet food in airtight containers inside other sealed boxes. No scraps in the yard. No feeding near entryways. Third, camouflage your pet's appearance. I'm serious. If your Labrador looks shampoo commercial clean, you're doing it wrong. Dirt them up. Mat their fur a little. Make them look feral. And fourth, never walk them outside. No poop trails, no leash jingles. No chewed tennis ball on the lawn. Every sound or sign is a broadcast. You want to survive? Then understand this. Pets are love. But in a blackout, love is liability. And your well-fed, tail-wagging best friend might be the very reason someone breaks down your door tonight. Feed them. Love them. But above all, mute them. 6. Your car battery's still alive. And everybody knows it. Let me hit you with something you probably never thought twice about. Your car makes noise even when it's off. That gentle click when you unlock the doors, the whir of electronics when you start it, the beep when you open the trunk. In a blackout, that's a symphony, and it only plays in front of people who still have power. A working car becomes more than transportation. It becomes proof of electrical surplus, power that can charge phones, run radios, power lights, and power hope. And if you've still got a functioning battery and your neighbors don't, you're basically driving around with a glowing neon sign that says, "We're fine. Don't believe it matters." In Ukraine's 2022 occupation zones, Humanitarian reports detailed targeted battery thefts that became so common, families began removing car batteries at night and burying them. That's not paranoia, that's tactics, because in those dead zones, a single working battery could run a satellite phone, power a camp, or barter for food. One guy got robbed for keeping his car stereo running for 30 seconds. That's all it took for the block to realize he's still juiced. Here's how you screw this up without even realizing it. You run the heater because it's cold. You power your inverter to juice a flashlight. You recharge a walkie, and every time you do, the neighbors hear the click, the purr, the buzz of power. They might not act right away, but now you're on a mental list, the "they've got juice" list. And when it gets cold enough, dark enough, hungry enough, lists turn into plans. So, what's the counter? 1. Disable your vehicle's noises. Lock manually. Disconnect door dings. Pop the dome light bulb if you have to. 2. Never run electronics unless you're out of sight. 3. Don't let the glow of a charging cable show. And 4. Camouflage your car. Dust it. Smear it. Make it look like it hasn't moved in weeks. Because in a world of dead batteries, one spark makes you a magnet. And magnets attract steel, yes, but also desperation. 5. The only chimney with smoke? You just became the target house. Let me paint you a picture. It's 19 degrees outside. The grid's down. The wind stopped. The entire block is silent and still. And then someone spots it. A thin curling column of smoke rising from your chimney. Maybe you're just trying to stay warm. Maybe you've got a wood stove, a fireplace, a pellet burner. Smart, right? Survivalist. But guess what? You just became the warmest house in town. And if they can see it, they'll follow it. If they can smell it, they'll plan around it. You think I'm exaggerating? After the 2019 ice storm in Oregon, local police noted a spike in home invasions, specifically targeting houses with visible smoke during the night. One sheriff's report even mentioned that the presence of chimney smoke during late blackout hours directly correlated with reported burglaries within the same 24-hour window. People didn't need to knock. They knew. If your house is warm, you're surviving. And if you're surviving, you have fuel, heat, food, and discipline. Things they now feel entitled to. But it's worse than just being seen. You're also heard. A creaking chimney, a popping log, the hiss of heat against a stovepipe. These noises travel in absolute silence. You're in a cave, remember. No traffic, no radio, no wind. You can hear a match strike 2 blocks away. If someone hears crackling, that's an emotional trigger. It tells them they're cold, and you're not. Solutions. 1. Use smokeless fuel. Dried compressed biomass bricks or anthracite coal if you've got it. 2. Install a secondary burn chamber if possible. Rocket mass heaters produce less visible smoke and nearly 0 scent. 3. Burn after dusk. Thermal updrafts and darkness help obscure visibility. 4. Black out your chimney cap. Shiny vent pipes and metallic crowns glint in moonlight like searchlight beacons. And 5. Be aware that scent carries horizontally before it rises. If your neighbor downwind smells cedar, they don't need GPS. Their stomach will take them to your porch. In a blackout, warmth isn't safety. It's signal. And the first plume you think will comfort your family, that's the same one guiding the wolves to your den. 4. You're the only one with water. And they know it. This is the big one. Forget the food. Forget the fuel. If your neighbors think, even for a second, that you still have access to water, you will become the last well in the desert. And once that perception sticks, it's over. Because water doesn't just mean hydration. It means life, hygiene, cooking, hope. And in a grid-down situation, most people lose it within 12 hours, especially in urban areas where municipal water fails or pressure tanks stop pushing. In 2021, and after a sudden power outage in Jackson, Mississippi, 73% of residents reported loss of water access within the first day. And yet, One man's home still had trickling pipes. By day 3, his windows were smashed. Why? Word got out. But you might think, well, my system is private. I've got a rain barrel, a hand pump, a gravity-fed cistern. Doesn't matter. If you're rinsing dishes outside, if you've got condensation on your windows, if your clothes suddenly look cleaner than the neighbors, they're not guessing anymore. They know. Water leaves signs, the sound of a filled bucket, a plant that's too green, a dog bowl that's never empty. These are not details, they're breadcrumbs, and desperate people follow breadcrumbs. Worse yet, people talk. Maybe your kid says, "We still got water." Maybe your cousin drops by and says too much. Maybe the sound of a flush gives you away when the rest of the world is using buckets. During Puerto Rico's grid and water collapse in 2017, relief workers reported that word-of-mouth leaks were responsible for the majority of targeted burglaries. People didn't see the water, they heard about it. Your playbook? Lock it down. First, no visible washing, no dishes in the sink near a window, no splashing sounds from a bathroom, no laundry lines that drip. Second, if you're collecting rain, disguise your catchment. Camo net it, break its outline, dirty the barrel. Third, gray water management. Don't dump clean-looking rinse water where it can be seen or smelled. Fourth, teach your kids and spouse the phrase, "We're bone dry like everyone else," and stick to it. Because in a blackout, water is the new gold. And if you look hydrated, you might as well be holding a treasure chest in your living room, and no one ever breaks into a dry house. 3. You still look hopeful, and that's blood in the water. People don't just track resources, they track mood. And if you still walk around like the world isn't ending, shoulders back, voice calm, face focused, you just became a beacon. That kind of quiet optimism, it's not inspiring in a blackout, it's threatening, it's infuriating. Because in a world gone dark, hope isn't interpreted as strength. It's read as you know something they don't. And in desperation, that makes you dangerous, or worth exploiting. In behavioral studies after the 2003 Northeast blackout, sociologists noticed something disturbing. Homes where residents maintained calm, organized composure were more likely to be approached for help, interrogated for resources, or targeted for theft. Not because they did anything wrong, because they stood out. When everyone else is sweating, pacing, snapping at their kids, your quiet competence reads like a secret stockpile. You think I'm exaggerating? In the 2022 California rolling blackout surveys, community security teams reported that households where families continued walking dogs, playing board games by candlelight, or calmly watering plants became soft gossip targets. People began asking around, how are they staying so cool? What are they hiding? In one neighborhood in Fresno, a family with a backyard fire pit was looted on night 3 after being seen laughing during the day. Here's how you fix this. You don't stop being calm. You weaponize disguise. When you're in view, slump your shoulders. Sigh out loud. Argue gently with your spouse about something stupid like batteries or canned beans. Look tired. Look normal. No smiling. No whistling. No routines that show confidence. And train your kids too. No skipping, no humming. No signs that your house is better than next door. It sounds cruel. It is cruel. But this is psychological camouflage. Because when people lose everything, they don't want to see someone who looks like they planned for this. They want shared misery. And if you don't show it, you're not one of them anymore. And that's when they turn. 2. You're keeping a routine. And that routine becomes a map. Let me tell you something that should terrify you. Consistency is betrayal. In a stable world, routine is comfort. It's order. It's health. But when society breaks, a routine is a schedule for thieves. If you always cook at 6, always check the gate at 8, always sit on the porch for 10 minutes before bed, congratulations, you've made yourself into a living spreadsheet, and all someone has to do is observe you once, maybe twice, to know exactly when you're distracted, when your perimeter is weakest, and when to strike. In Venezuela's 2019 blackout disaster, looters weren't just random mobs, they were tactical. They targeted homes where the patterns were predictable. One family always collected water at 7 a.m. One father walked the yard at midnight every night. Every time someone followed the same rhythm, it took less than a week for word to spread, and the hit came when they were most vulnerable. In some neighborhoods, gangs even rotated lookouts just to document habits. Your daily normal becomes someone else's plan of attack. But that's not the scariest part. The worst mistake? Your pets know your routine, and they enforce it. Dog barks at the same time for food. Cat meows at the bowl. You walk to the same window when you hear a sound. These micro-routines are visible, and in a blackout, visibility equals liability. Fix it now. 1. Scramble your schedule. Eat at different times. Patrol at random intervals. Sleep in multiple locations if possible. 2. Rotate your routes. Don't check the same window or the same gate the same way. 3. Disrupt your pets. Don't feed them by clock. Skip a time, delay it. Make them adjust. 4. If you have outdoor cameras, do not check them on a schedule. That rhythm gets noticed. And last, don't do chores when they're expected. If the weather breaks, don't do laundry. If there's silence, don't use that to start hammering. Use chaos to mask noise. Use noise to hide movement. In a blackout, the only safe routine is having none at all. Predictability is a trail of breadcrumbs and desperate people. They follow those breadcrumbs straight to your weakest moment. 1. You're calm. While everyone else is panicking, and that makes you enemy. Number 1. This is it. The final, most dangerous sign. The one that doesn't come from your gear, your tools, or even your actions. It comes from your face. Because when everyone else is shouting, pacing, shaking, crying, and you're calm, you're the anomaly. And the human brain is wired to destroy anomalies in crisis. Let's talk psychology. In any mass panic, whether it's a stadium stampede or a bank run, the calm person is the first target for blame. Why? Because your calm proves it's not hopeless. It says, this was preventable. That makes people angry. In 2022, during Texas's grid failure and heat wave, police noted a 42% surge in home invasions during blackouts. And the homes that got hit the fastest? The ones with quiet, stable behavior. No screaming, no pacing, no visible distress. Calm was read as control. And control meant stockpiles. You think staying level-headed makes you a leader. It doesn't. It makes you a symbol. And symbols get burned. In the 2019 Venezuela collapse, mobs went after houses where the residents didn't join the crowd. They looked too calm, too collected. They became scapegoats. They're hoarding. People would whisper. They planned this. Whether you did or didn't, doesn't matter. Here's the hard fix. You don't get to be calm in public. You get to be forgettable. You adopt the mask. Voice quivering, face drawn, posture hunched. If a neighbor shouts in panic, you shout back. If someone rants about the government, you agree. Mirror the chaos. Inside your home, train everyone. No laughing. No upbeat voices. No TV glow. No board games or music. Calm must exist only in shadows. Outside, you wear the costume of fear. You mimic the herd, because in total darkness, the human animal hunts what it envies. And calm? Calm looks like confidence. Confidence looks like control. And control, in a blackout, looks like something people feel entitled to destroy. That's all 10 signs, but let's be clear. This isn't just about being quiet or sneaky or living in the shadows. It's about understanding something most people never will. The blackout doesn't turn people into monsters. It just strips away the rules that kept the monsters polite. When the power dies, laws pause, morals blur, and the smiling face across the street starts calculating what you have, what they need, and whether you're too calm, too clean, too prepared to be left alone. There is no safety in visibility, not when desperation is airborne. Not when normal people start convincing themselves you owe them. Because in a world without lights, your silence is protection. Your unpredictability is a shield. And your invisibility, that's survival. So now you have a choice. You can hope they won't come. Or you can make sure they never even notice you exist. Because when the grid collapses, the most dangerous thing in your neighborhood is the memory of your house still looking okay. Stay forgettable. Stay quiet. Stay alive.